New Zealand. New Zealand is a collection of islands located 2,012 kilometers southeast of Australia in the South Pacific Ocean. Facts: Capital is Wellington. Currency is New Zealand dollar. Life expectancy is 78. New Zealand earned their independence on September 26, 1907 from the UK. Their economy includes industry, agriculture, and exports. New Zealand is a fertile group of islands in the southwestern Pacific Ocean. New Zealand is about 1,250 miles southeast of Australia, which consists of two main islands and a number of smaller outlying islands so scattered that they range from the tropic to the Antarctic. The country is the size of Colorado. New Zealand's two main components are the North Island and the South Island, separated by Cook Strait. An old stone church sits among the placid grasses of New Zealand's South Island, a land known for its wide expanses of untouched land and vast farming outlets. Flourishing greenery beckons hikers and explorers to tread the many famous paths of Fidderland, trails lush with ferns and mosses. From the outset, the country has been in the forefront of social welfare legislation. New Zealand was the world's first country to give women the right to vote in 1893, and it adopted the old age pensions in 1898 and a child welfare program in 1907. Maoris were the first inhabitants of New Zealand, arriving on the islands in about the 1000s. Current events. Prime Minister Bill English to announce freshwater changes. Any change in the water standards will be significant because it will likely affect farmers, National's core voting base. Around two-thirds of monitored freshwater sites in New Zealand remain unsafe for recreational contact. Current event. The New Zealand Department of Conservation said early Tuesday that it had to use evacuators and dump trucks to move the carcasses of more than 200 pilot whales away from the coastline, where they had become beached, and onto the sand dunes. Within the past week, more than 650 whales became stranded on Farewell Spit, at the northern tip of the South Island. Current event. Seal Conservation Society. Their most active welfare project at the moment involves comparing seal pups in rehabilitation and seals in captivity with free-living seals, and there is therefore scope for volunteers around the world to participate. Some of their goals are monitoring and attempting to minimize threats to pinniped populations and providing any information and advisory service on pinniped-related issues. New Zealand lies within the temperature zone. The climate is generally mild and seasonal differences are not great. The north end of Auckland Peninsula has the warmest climate. The coldest climate occurs in the southwest slopes of the Southern Alps. New Zealand plant life is remarkable in that of 2,000 indigenous species, and about 1,500 are found nowhere else in the world. The islands, which emerged late in the Tertiary period, contain a notably complete series of marine sedimentary rocks, some of which date from the early Paleozoic era. In 1907, New Zealand officially was designated a Dominion. Although its form of government was unchanged, the Conservatives campaigning at the Reform Party regained power in 1912. With the exception of two species of bat, no indigenous mammals are native to New Zealand. The first white settlers who arrived early in the 19th century found a type of dog and a black rat. New Zealand has a large population of wild birds, including 23 native species. Among the native species are songbirds, including the bellbird and tui, and flightless birds. The Polynesian Maori first settled in New Zealand sometime during the first millennium. In 1840, they entered into a treaty which gave Great Britain sovereignty. When the British began to colonize New Zealand, land wars broke out, and by 1872, the native Maori people were defeated and their numbers had declined drastically. Some modern Maori groups refer to themselves as Tangata, which means people of the land.